Florentin Vintila. There you go.
Hi, my name is Florentin Vintila. I'm, as you see, mobile solution architect at IBM. And our main goal for today would be to present you some of the facts that we have encountered, and that is going native in a hybrid world. As you may know and may have worked with, the hybrid applications in mobile are growing larger and larger for the past few years. And for that, we have also a platform which is known as the Mobile First Platform. And it's a platform based on Cordova. You may have heard of it, some of you. Yeah? Have you worked with it? Yeah? Do you like it? Not so much. Why is that? Is that complicated? First see it. Why would that be? Sorry, can you use the microphone?
So the pipeline for the development, when you first see it and you have to work with the command line interface, that's when it gets tricky.
Yeah, so
you don't get many tools out of the box. For example, Android gets that special Eclipse now that has everything inside, all the tools are there. Yeah, that's why Cordova at first may seem a little bit tricky to get it running, you know.
Okay, so you don't like the command line, no?
No, I like the command line now, but for a first-time user that hasn't seen the command line, it would be pretty tricky to get started.
Okay, but for that we have a workaround which is based also on Eclipse, so you don't have to do that by yourself. And as you said, it may be tricky for the first time, but it's not that tricky. Also, some of you may have experience with web design. No? Yeah? Not so much? Yeah, so the hybrid applications are also targeted for the web developers which want to do a switch to mobile so that they can develop and deploy it as soon as possible. That is why we are going into this direction. And the hybrid direction, it would be fast development, fast deployment, fast on target. So the client will get his application as soon as possible. As you may have seen here in the slide, we have 4 targets. That would be to transform the client so that he may take his application as soon as possible and deploy it for his customers or employees, as some may do. Engage. The engagement part, it's more into the business part. That would be for the client to integrate all of his systems with one application, or his application, his mobile application, would have to connect to other systems which are not from the same company or from the same provider, as you may have seen. Also build. The build, this is my favorite part, because in the hybrid development, the deploy must be done as soon as possible. This would help us. And also to protect. Not many applications are targeting this protection part. That would be because not so many are targeting big customers or companies for their mobile application, and they do not tend to, they tend to overlook this protection part. Whereas the Mobile First Platform comes with a very specific protection part, which encodes our data, also our application, and cannot be decoded, cannot be reverse engineered, and this is a big plus for us. Coming back to the mobile world, as you have seen here, there are a lot of numbers, and also most of you have mobile phones in their pockets now, no? Is it someone without a mobile phone? No? Yeah. So do you use it often? Besides looking at the clock, that is what I do. But besides that, do you play games? Do you use it for something? mostly calling cabs, no? No. But yeah. So as you can see here, most of the people are looking at their phones as many 150 times a day. So this is an important number for us, because not only you but also the customers are doing the same thing, not in the same age area, but in different age areas. Also, the industry is gaining a lot of money. As you can see here, payments in transaction are getting bigger and bigger. This is done over the phones and over mobile applications. Why would this mobile first platform is interesting? Why would you look at it? That would be because, as you may have known from the Cordova part, you can build the same application, same design, but for different targets. That would be iOS, Android, Windows, other operating systems, doing the same code. That same code would be JavaScript, HTML5, and CSS3 code, and it's the same code. The only difference would be the native part, but the native part is also offered by the platform, and that would be Cordova at the base. And we only have to deploy this code. This code has to be coded only once, not 3 times, not 4 times, so only one. And we can deploy it to different targets. So connecting and synchronizing, which Cordova does not offer, would be connection to different backend systems. Whereas the mobile first application comes with an adapter part, which offers you an interface to connect to different backends. That would be SQL, HTTP, and so on. And also with another application which offers you the opportunity to do tunneling over various systems, which other applications do not. Safety Guard Mobile Security. As I have told you earlier, the mobile first application offers you a packaging system which encodes your application, which encodes your stored locally data. For a user, this is important because you may store sensitive information on your mobile device. And what happens to it when you lose your phone? You lose that information. If someone gets it, it may be a downfall for you. Manage your portfolio as a single center interface. What the mobile first platform does is offer you a place where you can deploy your application. You don't have to use the same stores to install your application, whereas go to an Apple store or go to an Android store to download your application. You can download it from the same place but for different targets. You don't have to choose your operating target, it will choose it for you. But also mobile first platform offers you the possibility to do hybrid, native, or a combination of both, besides the web application which is known. So our target would be to focus on the combination of both, between hybrid and native, and how that may help us. This tool is targeted for the developers to do it faster. Why would that be faster? Because, as I told you, you only have to develop one time, not as many times as you have the platforms, the targeted platforms. Management, security, and continuous delivery. As I told you, you have one store where you can deploy your application. They can be managed from there. Various versions of the application can be restricted from use, and they can be pulled, or also they can send updates for the user, so the user may know when a newer version is released and it can be installed. And also the management for the push notifications, which is important because you can send the same push notification to various platforms. Easy connection. As I have told you, there are various ways to connect to different backend systems. We do not have to know what those systems are. You can consider it as a black box, but you can connect to it, and it offers you a various possibility to connect to it. And also, it's a wizard-based type. It's not the command line type, as the colleague said, which he does not like. So on-premise and management service delivery. Besides this management system, we can also deploy it in the cloud. That would be on the IBM cloud. The other colleagues of mine are talking about it. If not now, maybe a little bit later, but you can hear about it. Also, a quick deploy. For the deploy and build, you only have to execute one command, not many, so you don't have to know anything about it. The platform itself manages all the IPs, all the information for the build and deploy. So connect to rich mobile application, enterprise data and service, I told you a little bit earlier. As you can see here, you can start from the development. Worldlight Studio integrates with device SDKs. As you can see here, there are 3 presented. Hybrid catalog, where you can choose, and third-party libraries, which you can bring for your own to use in various applications. Going forward with this, you can have the Worldlight server, which helps you to connect to various backend systems, but also for the marketplace. But also you can deploy them in the Apple App Store, Android Marketplace, BlackBerry, App World, and so on. And finally, the third step is the runtime, which offers you, with the help of the Worldlight server, offers you part of authentication, enterprise data system, and cloud-based service. So you can choose from any of this runtime. So we are here at one of the steps which you can choose from what would your application would be. Would that be a mobile browser, and it would be a web application? Would that be a hybrid application, and you only have the native shell? The native shell would be only the integration part and communication with your native system. That would be events from your mobile, and so on. The second hybrid mixed would be the native and web application. This part for the native would be the part where you need to deploy your own code to work with various events or various hardware. You can bring your own hardware and also do the code for it, because it may be a custom build hardware, and for that you need to write the code yourself. And finally, the native application, where you can code your application natively. You don't have to install the Android Eclipse part. You can do it in this because it's and the base is the same Eclipse. But for Xcode, you have to just you have to open it just for the build. So why? Better experience. The experience here for the developer would be that he doesn't have to worry about many things. He just have to run and command, and the application will do it for him. So main functionality common to multiple platforms, as I have told you earlier. Some specific UI fixes, as you may have known. If some of you have Apple phones, from the iOS version 6 to 7, there were a lot of changes in the UI, and you don't have to worry about that. If you target your application for various OSs, you don't have to worry about changing the UI. Additional time compensated by reducing testing efforts. You may extend your effort to test your application better and better by reducing the time you have to develop it. So if we have to do this application for 3 operating systems, Android, iOS, and BlackBerry, let's say, we develop it in the time span, which is shorter, to do the same thing 3 times, and we can invest that time in testing. Better testing with result in a better application. Skinny skeleton for native components. You don't have to write a lot of code natively to do some functionality, to do some UI implementation. You can keep that at a very, very low level. Reusable native skeletons. Why is that? Because if we write something, it can be included into a component, and we can use it in different applications just by writing it only once. And event-based binding between mobile-first and native environments. As you may know, the communication between the web application and the native part must be done. So this is a helping hand, because we don't have to worry about it, how this is handled, because the framework itself handles it for us. So this is a thing. It's a joke more, because as many of you know, Apple and Google do not manage to communicate in nicer terms. But as you see here, the HTML5 it's a common ground for both of them, and they work with it very, very good. Also, for your information, as you may know, the Safari browser works on WebKit. Also, the Chrome browser works on WebKit. And HTML5 is based on mostly, most of it, it's implemented into WebKit. And it's one of the best rendering engines offered for us. So why should we split the application, as you may know? Why should we do the implementation of the code in hybrid? That would be JavaScript. And why would we do it in native? Because native is much more faster for the application, and the application runs faster, and that is a help for us. Also, the loading time, because the hybrid application loads firstly some embedded browsers, which offer us the compatibility to HTML5, and this may be handled by the native part. So doing native may help with the speed. Hybrid sharing code between platforms, as I have said, and also adapters, communicating with the backends from various systems. So this would be in the headers, where we can display information, but the information does not need to be changed so often. So this part may be used as a native implementation without the hybrid part. Also menus. How many times does the menu change? Not so many often. So bridge native and hybrid elements with an action API. As I have told you, mobile first application offers this API for the native and hybrid communication. So you don't have to worry about how do you send the data, how do you receive it, and how is it handled. So sending data from JavaScript to native. So, and backwards. And also registering native action handlers. So if your mobile phone starts to send some event, you have to catch it. You have to know about it, because if you do not, your application is useless and you developed it for nothing. And also registering JavaScript events, which happens in your browser, but also sending it to the native part, because your phone has to handle. Let's say if you shake it, this action maybe send it from the native to the hybrid application, and vice versa. As you can see here, The header is written native. Please.
Hi, my name is Sabin. I'm sure you've heard that there are a bunch of other mobile-first platforms out there that do the same. Why should I use the IBM one instead of others, like, I don't know, Ionic?
Tell me one other application which offers you the possibility to connect to various systems, backend systems.
AppGyver or Steroids.
What?
AppGyver or Steroids. It has the same integration like you. It exposes easy connection.
It exposes. Yeah, it exposes.
Okay,
but it's not the same communication because that offers is based on the HTTP request, and that is the only one. Try to connect to an SQL part. Do that. Can you do it?
I think they allow you to connect to different services. I'm not sure, I haven't tested for a while, but I know it's there.
Also, tunneling.
Okay, what do you mean by tunneling?
Communication with the backend system which is behind the firewall.
So VPN?
Not VPN, tunneling. Opening on demand. Request opened on demand. Not anytime, but on demand.
Okay, okay.
Also, try to do the BPM part, the business process management. Can you integrate it with a BPM? Your application can be integrated.
What do you mean?
Let's say actions which are automated and you do not know when they are triggered, but you have to process them. For this part, you use BPM. So using BPM in your application, let's say if you are sent an invoice, you have to read it, you have to know what the values are, to whom it was sent, and this data needs to be entered automatically into your database. You don't have to enter it manually, so this process is handled by a BPM.
Okay. Thanks.
Please.
You mentioned that the applications can connect to SQL databases, right?
Yeah.
And can they connect to locally stored databases like SQLite or to NoSQL databases like Couchbase Mobile? How do they work with the NoSQL databases?
Yeah, we do that thing. It's called, the API offers you this thing, and it's called the JSON store. And it's based on SQLite.
Okay.
And you can store up to your, I don't know, your storage. So this database can be extended. And also you have the functionality to SQLite.
Okay, and one more question. You mentioned that you can bridge between the hybrid or the HTML part of the application and send events to the native part. How do you do that? Do you use, I don't know, something similar to RxJS or reactive programming, or how do you do it? Do you have an event bus?
Not quietly, but the sending of the events must be, so you have to have a listener, firstly. And the listeners only calls the Cordova part, which handles, you send it by a bulk.
Okay.
You don't have to manage it. This is the, I don't know, parameter 1, parameter 2, and so on. You send it by bulk, and it handles the steps and knows how to put the parameters for your code. Let's say if you write it in Java, you would have a class, and your method would have some specific parameters, and these parameters are converted to that type. And also on iOS, where you can use also Objective-C or Swift, that is the same part, and the same concept for it. So it's more of a refactoring part.
And can you interface with the device's sensors? Can you receive in the HTML, for example, part to, can you catch intents broadcasted by the system?
Can you repeat that again?
Can you receive and process events or intents broadcasted by the system?
What events?
For example, I received an SMS, like I've connected to the network.
Yeah.
An application was installed.
The network part, as you said, is very important because your application has to know when you are online, when you are offline, because JSON store also offers you the possibility to synchronize with a database. Your data from local system can be synchronized automatically with a database from the cloud or from your backend. And this has to be known, because if you don't have a connection, this cannot be done.
So it's done in native code. This is done by the native code.
It's a mix.
Okay. Thanks.
So let me continue with this one. So as you may have seen here, the header is written natively because we do not change it as much. We only change the title, and that title is changed when we go from a page to another, and that can be changed with a simple command, change my title, and that is all. The center part is written, which is a web view, as you see it from here. And that is done in HTML5 and JavaScript, and that is changed a lot, and we need to change it as soon as possible, and the information needs to be as correct as possible. And also we can load any page here, and this would be lowering the effort for us. And also, as you can see there, the scrolling part, which is a ticker, we don't have to manage it that much, and we can write it in native. So thank you, and I would like to hear some questions if you have.
I think we run out of time, sorry.
Okay.
Florentin is going to be in the audience, so if you have any questions, just go and talk to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.